Hi, y'all. I'm Laurie Jones. I'm a PhD candidate at the University of Colorado Boulder in the Information Science Department. And today I'm presenting on a method I'm working on to identify a Wikipedia article's ecosystem or a complex way to identify article similarity. Article similarity is at the core of a lot of different tasks involving Wikipedia, such as building things such as recommender systems or data sets, or analyzing within Wikipedia articles themselves for quality and polarization. I'm proposing a method that looks at a lot of different aspects. Traditionally, article similarity is done through looking at content and structure, which is incredibly valuable. But there's a lot of other data sources that are currently underutilized, such as the blue links, shared editors, and clickstream data. And then I propose that at the intersection of all of these is what I'm defining as the article's ecosystem. This method works with network analysis, creating an overlapping multi-graph. And all of these networks will be 1.5 degree networks, specifically around the article of the Arab Spring, as I consider that a very topical and influential concept on Wikipedia. A 1.5 degree network is when a certain article has various properties. So, like for example, perhaps they share an editor with a bunch of other nodes. These nodes then have other nodes that they also share an editor with that are unrelated to the article that we really care about. But they might share an additional um, editor between them. So not only do they share an editor with the Arab Spring article, but they share an editor together. And this allows us to simplify the network to what is called a 1.5 degree network. It's called 1.5 because it has that first degree, which is the ones connected to our article that we care about, but it doesn't have that second degree, which are all of the other nodes that we don't care about. It only looks at the half degree, which is whether that first degree is connected to each other, creating this kind of triangle that I'll reference again and again in this presentation. I'll then overlap these 1.5 degree networks to find their densest parts between them. This is an example of what that might look like with a subsection of all of the same nodes. First, let's break down wiki links, or those blue links on a Wikipedia article. I identify those blue links throughout time on the Arab Spring article. Those blue links obviously go to other articles that have their own blue links, and whether or not those blue links link to each other. So that ends up looking like this, which is heavily dense. As throughout all of the time of the existence of the Arab Spring article or the Egypt article, they tend to link to similar articles. Clickstream data is the next data source that I look at. This is the navigation from one article to another. I believe it's Wikimedia that provides this data set. You can see this kind of flow from Google to the London Wikipedia article, from the London Wikipedia article to the England Wikipedia article. This is presented in kind of these one movement snapshots. We're not tracking people as they go on Wikipedia, but it provides this kind of connection between articles and a sort of consumption-based finding what readers are related or sharing interest in. And that like N is like how many times that happens per month. This prevents these networks, same network, different perspective, where the darker the line, the more connected they are. Which means that people are navigating to and from these articles. So this could have been a directional network looking just at how people going away from the Arab Spring article or just going to the Arab Spring article, but I got rid of that kind of navigational direction and focused just on how often people are going between them. The third one I wanted to look at was editors, which is rather complex and there are a lot of data, as if I'm looking at every article an editor has ever edited. Those numbers get up pretty high. I also had to narrow it down for the Arab Spring to the most consistent articles. These are consistent editors. These are editors that came back and continued to edit, as opposed to the extreme of that, which is like a bot, versus people that came in and maybe made a one-time edit, just to simplify down for data processing reasons. Obviously, if you have a supercomputer, please look at all of the editors, but I had to do this. And then I linked them whether or not articles had a shared editor. So that was my example in the 1.5 degree. So whether or not the Arab Spring shares an article, shares an editor with an article, and whether or not those articles share another editor. This is taking me a rather long time, but here is a subsection of country-based articles. And you can see here, like the Arab Spring and Syria have a darker connection, which means that they have a lot of shared editors. The last one I'm looking at is content. Again, I don't have one of those supercomputers, so analyzing all of Wikipedia and finding like a similarity metric through all of the content of all of the Wikipedia articles is not possible for me. So what I'm identifying are the categories at the bottom of every Wikipedia article. This is Wikipedia editor classified. And then within each category is a subsection of pages within that category. And whether or not articles share additional categories provides that other connection, creating this whole image. But this is my current progress to wrap this up as I'm at the time. So still definitely a work in progress, but I look forward to hearing your thoughts and suggestions.